All right, something that the Cisco IOS devices do and can really help you out is it has a history, it keeps a history of the commands that you've typed into the device. This can really help out in a couple different ways. One that I'll use quite often is that you can toggle up through the commands you've already typed. So if there's a command you're using over and over again, you'll be able to recall that command very quickly. And I'm going to show you an example of that here in a second. The other thing that I can see where this could be really handy with is, let's say I entered a command into the device, maybe I entered it wrong, and it caused a problem on the device. And now I need to figure out what is it that I typed in that is causing a problem. And so I'll go back through my history to see what commands I've typed in and how I can reverse what I did to make sure my device is functioning properly. So I'm on a switch here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the history. And to do that, you just type in show history. And what it's going to do is it's going to show you the commands that I've typed in most recently. So you can see that I've got some of the commands from my last video already in here. And so I've got a little bit of a history going on here. By the way, if I were to log out of this device and log back in, then I would not see the history. Then again, it would create a new history for that session. So this is the history of my session here. What I'm going to do is, like I say, the way I can leverage this quickly is I can press the up arrow and it will scroll through the history. And it's here, just to note, this bottom one is the last one that I typed in, and it goes up through to the enable. So the enable was the first one I typed in all the way through show history. So when I press the up arrow, it's going up through that history all the way through all those commands that I've typed in recently. If I press the down arrow, same thing, then it goes down through that history. So another way that I can do this is with the Control P and Control N. So I can use Control P, Control N to scroll up and down through that history. So let's say I don't need a lot of history. Maybe I want to reduce it, and maybe I just need 3 lines of history. There is a command I can change this. So terminal history size, and then I put in the size that I want it. So maybe I want it to be 3 lines. I hit enter, and now when I do a show history, it's only going to show me the last 3 lines that I've entered in. Or maybe I want to increase it. More than likely, I'm probably going to increase how much it's going to store. So maybe I want to go back 10 lines. And so I'll hit 10, and then notice that I'm using this. In fact, several of my demos, you may notice that they're automatically coming up, and this is what I'm doing is I'm pressing the up arrow for it to come up, or one of the ways. So there I've got show history, and I'm going to hit enter, and you can see that it's got now the last 4 lines that I've typed in. Doesn't include the lines that I've already shortened this, made the history smaller. So, all right. So let's say I don't want any history at all. I can turn it off. So then to turn it off, I can do terminal no history, hit enter. And now when I do a show history, I don't see anything. And one thing that we can do to reverse this, let's say I do actually want to turn it on, then I'm trying to press the up arrow so I can recall the terminal no history as a shortcut, and I don't have a history, so it's not doing it. So I really like this feature. So I'm going to type in terminal history in order to make sure this is turned on, because I use this a lot. This right here saves me a lot of time because I just scroll up through those commands I've already typed, and I'm not having to retype the same thing over and over again. Or maybe I'm recalling a command that I entered in wrong, and then I'm changing it to what I need to do so I can quickly navigate the Cisco IOS and get the commands that I need. So there you go. There's the history. There's the history of how to show the history and how to recall those different components of the history. It can save you a lot of time. I hope these videos are really helping you out. If they are, I'd really appreciate you hitting that like button.